Hey, it's Justin Lewis from 92.7 WOBM. We were talking once again about Seaside on Tap coming up on August 7th. Here with my new friend Bernard from, let's make sure we get this right.
Unibroue.
Unibroue, not Unibroue.
No, not to be mistaken for Unibroue.
Right.
Absolutely.
Unibroue. Where are you guys out of?
We're based in a town called Chambly, which
Okay.
is about 15-20 minutes southeast of Montreal. And there we're the originators of bringing re-fermented Belgian-style beers to America back in 1994.
Okay.
When we started doing the beer.
All right, we got quite a collection here.
Yes.
So, where do we start?
So we're always going to start with something a little bit lighter. This is actually one of the beers that will be in Seaside that we'll be pouring on draft called Blanche de Chambly. And Blanche de Chambly, obviously Chambly where we brew the beer, Blanche meaning white in French, is a white ale that's 5%, very light, very refreshing, great with seafoods, great with salads. A white ale traditionally is a sessionable beer, which you'll notice once we start tasting, and you tell me what you think about it.
Okay, let's do it.
So by being re-fermented, what it's important to note is that when you do buy our bottles is that you take the beer and you put it on a 90-degree angle and you spin it a little bit. And the reason for doing that, it's 15-25 days in the brewing process, 15-25 days at the brewery before the beer is actually shipped into the United States. So what really happens is that the yeast and the sugars kind of coagulate at the bottom.
Right.
And in the typical Belgian beer, they don't want you to disturb that. However, for us, we're very high in vitamin B, and we want you to kind of get that. So through every pour, especially since we're sampling portion, I want to make sure that this beer comes out cloudy like a white ale should, and I want to make sure that I get the yeast and the sugars really motivated right now.
See that? We're not only tasting beer, we're learning something.
Yeah, it's so important, especially in craft business. So we are a spin-off, which not many people realize. When you don't need an opener, you can use an opener, but hey,
It's nice. Light. Cheers.
yes, enjoy your summer. Very easy to drink. You can see what you want. Is that residual in the glass?
I love that. Is that unfiltered?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
still got that yeast flavor really jumping out in
Yeah.
there. Nice, light.
You know, something great about this beer, which I may do and actually bring with me, is we make beer mimosas. So we add orange juice to it. So I usually, typically, when I do bigger events, I do 3/4 Blanche, 1/4 of orange juice, and if I get a little frisky, I throw a splash of Grand Marnier in the top.
Okay.
Yes, you get a lot of all that. And we just came out with a cookbook that has a lot of our recipes, and if you go online
Got the cookbook here.
to unibroue.com, you will see and notice that we have other drinks as well. And as we go through them, I'll kind of go over some fun things that a lot of restaurants are doing right now to kind of, bring some excitement to craft beer as a whole. Okay,
Nice.
on to our next one.
Okay.
It's called Enfamir. Enfamir is like Blanche de Chambly, but we add apples to it. So it's a 5.5% white ale with Granny Smith apples. Doing
So
this,
it'll be a little tart.
it's going to be tart, exactly right. Not to be considered as a maltier lemonade style beer or maltier beverage. This you'll see has the same, what you just drank, very sessionable, very easy to drink, but it also has that little apple to it.
Okay.
It adds a little point to it.
Oh, you can definitely smell
Oh,
the apples in there. It jumps right out.
It's amazing because a lot of accounts that carry this on draft, and if you're handing it to one of your guests, you'll pick that up immediately and you'll ask questions like, "What is that? What is that?" And it's always
No, I'm sorry. This is all natural.
Oh,
apple.
yeah,
No
absolutely.
artificial flavors.
no,
or anything.
it's got a must to it. So
That
I mean,
really,
yeah,
really jumps out.
yeah. See, it's beautiful, especially right now as we still have that warm weather. I know it's not September when typically it is apple season, but this is the kind of beer you want when it's, especially in Seaside during the event.
I have a feeling our promotions director is going to like this one.
The great thing about this one is you can do a lot with this. I had accounts that make salad dressing with this. I do an Enfamir apple pie. So you can incorporate this at an account that actually marinates their chicken overnight in this and makes skewers for a barbecue,
Okay.
adding some pineapples and some vegetables on the skewer. So
I like that Enfamir. That almost sounds like a Disney villain or one of the bad guys from a movie.
yes,
But it's a great beer.
right, good.
Okay.
So this next one we're having is called, and it's a staple mark to our brand, it's called La Fin du Monde. It's a 9% triple golden style ale. It's actually a 10-time Platinum Award winner,
Okay.
which has won more awards than I think any beer in the beer business right now, to be honest with you. It's a large percentage of our sales, and it's something that a lot of accounts we now make bigger formatted draft as well. So you tell me how you
Now I
feel.
got to mention this to use my my very rudimentary French. End of the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
right.
where does the name come from?
Well, it comes and derives from where the Canadians thought they reached the end of the world, but really they reached America.
Okay.
So, a very simple story. And a lot of our beers, if you go online, unibroue.com, you can read a lot of the histories and the legends of all the beers. And you'll learn a little bit more about it. A little French, along with some great food, beer pairings, cheese pairings as well.
It's nice. We're kind of moving up the chain here. A little more flavor as we're getting further
exactly
into it.
right, exactly right. And that's kind of why I kind of program it in that kind of facet. So we go from light, although it's a lighter beer, it's a little bit more complex at 9%. So we'll move you a little bit
And
further.
that's definitely got, you know, what you expect out of the Belgian style.
Absolutely right. This is kind of where beer and champagne meet.
Okay. Oh, I like that. That's good. This is my kind of beer. That's what I would go for.
Well, then you didn't get to this one yet.
All right. Well, hey, let's keep going.
Because this is called Moldzit. And Moldzit in French means damned. Without going through a long story, but you see the lumberjacks and the devil. This is an 8% strong amber ale.
Okay.
Great with spicier foods, hot dogs, hamburgers, pastas, anything acidic. We do a lot of marinating with this, especially at home. We marinate our pork in it. I'm big with a crock pot, so you can put like a nice pork tenderloin in there and marinate. We always do the 1-to-1 ratio, water to beer. And you're your own chef, so you put your own ingredients to it, peppers, salts, and that kind of stuff. This one you're going to like a lot.
You can tell right away, a little darker.
Yes,
a little more
exactly
to
right.
it.
Yes, for sure.
It's definitely got that classic Belgian smell to it.
Absolutely. And you can see and smell or taste.
That's fantastic.
You can see why.
That's really good.
It's a great beer. You know, between this beer and Fenzimon have always been the two strongest lead horses for our brand.
That's one. Yep.
And you can see why. It have that, you know, tradition to it.
Yep.
Also that flavor profile, which, you know, does that, like, using you as an example, like Belgian style beers is something you gravitate to.
Now, which ones are we going to have at Seaside on tap?
So you're going to have the first two on tap because they're lighter, very refreshing. You know, it's what I'm sure a lot of those that are attending want something light, refreshing, especially if it's going to be a little warm outside.
Okay.
Those particularly are the ones that are going to be there for the event.
Awesome. Well, this is great beer. My first time trying Unibroue, and I'm really glad I did. So,
Yeah. Hey.
Bernard, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We will see you on August 7th at Seaside on Tap in Seaside Park. Get your tickets online at WOBM.com.
Sante.